What up, my friends? Hope you guys are well. So in this video, I want to talk about why I believe most existing home care agencies, nursing homes, most of them are going to go out of business or, change the way they do things, the way they do business in 2026 and beyond. I'm predicting about 80% of existing home care agencies are going to get wiped out. And what's going to come out of it is going to be something new, fresh, and different. So I know this sounds a little crazy for me to predict this, but it's just the obvious, direction that things are going. When you look at the way the economy is set up now, it's completely different from what it was in 2024 and 2023 because of cost of living and inflation. Cost of living is shot up, inflation has shot up, and a lot of weird things are starting to happen, which are the way the existing home care agencies were built prior to 2025 was the old school way. And that did not account for things like wage inflation. And with wage inflation, it means that your employees are no longer satisfied with the amount of money that you're paying them. Now, we already know that most of these home care agencies are billing Medicare, and we all know what's going on with Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare and Medicaid is broke, guys. Yeah, they don't have any money. And most of these home care agencies were set up to file claims through Medicare. And now, thanks to the big, beautiful bill, the government is going to make it very difficult. It already is making it very difficult to file claims. Also, because there's a whole bunch of fraudulent things that were happening over there in Minnesota, okay? And unfortunately, that adds up. That adds to the, complexity of you filing your claims with Medicare. I'm not saying what they did was right. What they did was completely wrong. We don't want any fraud in this business. So, this means that the government is going to tighten things up. So if the government is tightening things up, it means that all these home care agencies that were having it easy, filing claims, it's going to be much more difficult. And that affects cash flow. If you can't bill or if you can't get paid through Medicare for like a month or a week, you're going to start to lose, your workers because you can't pay your workers on time. So the whole thing is a domino effect. And on top of that, the wages are too low. Nobody wants to work for like $20 an hour anymore, especially when the cost of, gas has gone up, the cost of eggs, the cost of milk has gone up. Nobody wants to work for those low wages. So wage inflation is going to creep onto these home care agencies and completely wipe them out. On top of that, there's a bunch of new players in the game. Yes, yes. They're called private equity gangsters. Listen, man. Private equity is the silent assassin, okay, in this new game that we're in, okay? How many times have you guys, especially you guys that are renting, have you paid your rent to a landlord that you've never met? And when you try and get customer service, get somebody on the call, you're either redirected to a manager, an office manager who's completely incompetent, but you never know who the owner is of the place that you're staying at. Do you even know who owns the apartment block that you live in? You don't know, but I do. It's a bunch of private equity companies that are paying out dividends to people that are stakeholders, shareholders. And those shareholders could be in Japan, Brazil, South America somewhere, Chile, Canada, Mexico. So it's just a bunch of shareholders that are global that are the owners of these private equity companies. And all of these private equity companies, they're vacuuming up all these companies, all these home care facilities. They're just buying them all out. buying them out because they're flushed with cash, guys. They have so much money, their pockets are so deep, it's not even a joke. This is how they're able to outbid home buyers. You try and go buy a house right now, see what happens. Go try and buy a house right now, see what happens. You can't. You can't do it. Because some private equity company with shareholders in the Middle East, it could be at Dubai, and that owns a bunch of these homes in your neighborhood that you can't afford anymore. That's the game. So as these private equity companies are buying all these care facilities, all these existing home care agencies, they're gonna look for ways to bring in as much efficiency as possible while paying their workers as little as possible. Bottom of the barrel wages. So if they can get away with paying you $25 an hour when the cost of eggs costs $25 an hour, $25 a dozen, they would do it. They would do it as long as you continue to accept it. Because it's just a machine, guys. And the machine will continue to extract profits forever until you get fed up, until you wake up to this reality. Now, here's how you play in this new game. You don't compete with the machine because the machine is good. The machine is designed to outcompete you and suck you dry. So don't bother competing with the machine. The way you operate is as a complement to the machine. You complement it by focusing on the wealthy clients, the higher end of the market. Because the higher end of the market needs people who are better than those that are willing to accept bottom of the barrel wages. An employee that is making, let's say, $200 an hour in this new market versus an employee that's only making $25 an hour. Those are two completely different people. The way they do things is completely different. One is going to be living in scarcity, and one is going to be living, a good life. Very healthy. They work out probably every single day. They take care of themselves. They're not stressed out. And those are the type of people that wealthy clients want to work with. They don't want to work with somebody that's only making $25 an hour and is struggling to pay their rent and is struggling to stay afloat. That's a liability to these people. So how do you shift the way you do business so you can start charging $200 or $250 an hour? That's what you should be thinking in this new economy. A private equity firm, it's very difficult for it to replicate services that are premium. It's quite difficult. It's quite difficult because a lot of these big companies, they're operating at scale. So they'll probably own like 20 home care agencies and everything is done exactly the same. There's a reason why you're starting to see, if you try and go get fast food and there's a Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's in the same complex, the food all tastes the same. There's a reason why all the food tastes the same, even though those three chains are supposedly, different brands. It's because they're owned by the same private equity firm. The same private equity firm owns this McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King in the same complex. And all the supplies of the burgers, the fries, all come from the same source. They're doing this at mass scale. And the reason why they have to do that is so that they can be profitable, so they can squeeze out as much profit as possible. But it's really difficult to replicate that at the upper end of the market. It's quite difficult because the wealthy clients aren't so many. They're more brokies, they're more broke people than they are wealthy clients or wealthy people in any market. This could be in Africa, Southeast Asia, South America, anywhere, including the United States. Same thing. So your job should be to focus on the wealthy, and I can help you do just that. If you're ready to work with the best, schedule time. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Talk to you soon.